Everybody, everybody's Dr. Joe's in the house on this cold Wednesday. And let's get down to business. Hope everyone's doing well. Just came back from my trips. Let me just get Instagram folks online. Okay, I think they should be good to go. Okay, Instagram's on and Facebook is on. So I got a little cold here, so I apologize for my voice. And but it's all good. So we've got another great session lined up today. Today we're going to talk about doing deals, analyzing deals, when's a good deal, when's a bad deal, call it deal or disaster, and how smart investors know the difference. I had a great time in Dominica. I was there for almost a couple of weeks on the Eastern Caribbean. The weather was nice, 80s, 90s, beautiful. Had a great time relaxing. Just went to the Creole Fest, which is an annual festival down there. And then from there I went to Atlanta to a conference, Own It, Live It, Erica Brown, and a fantastic session. Great job, Erica. And I met a lot of people and networking. And now I'm back in the DC area with a cold and not feeling exactly 100%. So after this live stream, I'm going straight to bed. It's been a hectic 3 weeks, but I'm back. Anyway, so let's get down to business. Hold on a second, please. Oh boy. Okay. So so we're going to talk about deal or disaster and all aspects of going on. Now, why did I pick a subject like this today? The reason being, again, I apologize for my voice. It's just not doing great. But the market is shifting. I hear stories. A lot of people are having a hard time right now in terms of investors. Interest rates are fluctuating, and especially flippers, people who do short-term strategies, they're having a really hard time. On my side, it's not really too bad. Section 8 is going fine. Properties are being rented. And so one of the key important things is, how to decide when to pull the trigger on a deal. Does it make sense, or is it just a disaster waiting to happen? And I thought I'll do a session on that because I think it's appropriate. So anyway, if you got any questions, please put them in the chat box, and I'll be getting to you guys in about 20 minutes. Anything to do with real estate investing, any deals you're working on, any problems you're facing, any challenges that you're experiencing, put them in the chat box and I'll get to you shortly. Likewise, if you want to book a one-on-one, you can go to my website, www.joeasamoah.com, and you can schedule a one-on-one with me where you can do a deep dive into any situations, any problems, any challenges that you have. Okay, so my voice is horrible. I'm sure it is. Let's get down to it. Have you So I suppose the question is, why is this topic important? I kind of gave a backdrop. It's an interesting time for real estate investing, especially people on short-term strategies. And when you buy, what you buy is key, and you sometimes have to know when to go for it and when to just pass. And that's why I think it's a relevant topic. Deal or disaster, how smart investors know the deal or the difference. Well, in short, have you ever looked at a deal that seemed great, guaranteed winner, until it wasn't? Every investor, I think, has faced that sinking feeling. The numbers look good, look solid, the location looks right, everything appears to be perfectly lined up until reality sinks in. Repairs double, rents fall short, or financing terms that once seemed manageable is now really breaking you in terms of strangling your cash flow. So what started out as a quote unquote deal has quickly spiraled into a disaster. The difference between success and struggle, in my opinion, in real estate investing rarely comes down to luck. After all is said and done, it comes down to preparation, perspective, and analysis. The best investors don't just chase returns. We understand risk. We don't fall in love with properties. we fall in love with the numbers. The ability to accurately interpret a deal before jumping in is really one of the most important and valuable, skill sets to have. And in today's market, especially, fluctuating interest rates, changing rent regulations, and unpredictable renovation costs. Mastering the deal analysis, I think, isn't optional. It's really survival. Any mistakes here can really take you down. So today in this live stream, we're going to talk about some of my experiences, some of other experiences, those who have been successful, some people who have failed, and lost painfully. Really to uncover what separates smart investors from gamblers. This is not the time to gamble. So hopefully by the end of today's live stream, we'll have a blueprint to evaluate every property confidently and consistently, no matter where you are in your real estate investing journey. So as usual, I'm breaking into 6 parts. And again, I apologize for my voice. I'm sure it sounds pretty bad, but we're breaking into 6 parts, 1 through 6, and so on. So let's get down to it then. So the illusion of a good deal. Why investors get it wrong? We think it's a good deal, but in fact it's wrong. I suppose the question is, how can a property that looks perfect on paper become probably your biggest mistake? What happened? Well, every investor remembers the deal that looked like a winner. Oh, everything looks great. The stars are aligned. The numbers are convincing. The neighborhood was up and coming, and the seller assured us it was a can't miss opportunity. The seller was saying that to us, obviously for us to buy it. Yet, behind those glossy details often hide dangerous assumptions. Many failed deals start not with bad properties, but with investors who overlook or ignore the warning signs. There are warning signs, and it's your job to uncover those and pay attention to them. The excitement of buying clouds objectivity, and emotions replace logic. So successful investors know that a good deal isn't about charm, it's about discipline. We follow a consistent due diligence process that leaves no stone unturned. We verify comps, we verify rental projections, rehab costs, neighborhood dynamics. We question everything and assume nothing. Okay. So one investor shared how his perfect rental in a growing area became a cash flow disaster. When unverified rent assumptions proved inflated, the seller said you can expect this amount of rent. They took the seller on their word. And when they bought the property, they realized that wasn't true. The numbers were inflated. Another investor learned that, minor repairs, quote unquote, turned out to be a major structural foundation issue. Things that could have been resolved or solved probably through a $300-400 inspection. Really, the most successful investors, we don't chase deals. We don't chase what feels right. We chase what is proven right. We train ourselves to slow down, double check everything, even when the deal seems to be too good to pass up. We know skepticism. We go in there with skepticism, and but it's not just skepticism and negativity. It's really to for our own protection. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, again, I apologize for my voice. I know it sounds hoarse and coarse. My eyes are all red. Oh, I got a cold, so I was going to cancel today's, but I thought let me just do it because I gave you my word. Okay, number two, the math that matters, seeing beyond surface level ROI, return on investor. I suppose the question is, are you calculating profits or just guessing at them? Are you making assumptions unnecessarily? Are you calculating the profits, or are you just sort of crossing your fingers and hope for the best? Well, numbers are really the backbone of any real estate investing. But many real estate investors, we must misunderstand them We use rough, what we call rules of thumb, or we may rely on online calculators that don't reflect the real world cost. A deal that appears to generate, I don't know, $400 a month in cash flow can easily turn negative once you account for things like vacancies, maintenance, property management, and capital reserves. Okay. Many investors don't factor those things in. Whereas smart investors, we know that profit is what you see. It's not what you see, it's what you keep. Yeah, that's better. It's not what you see, it's what you keep. We analyze deals conservatively, assuming higher expenses and maybe lower rents than expected. We calculate multiple financial metrics such as, I don't know, cash on cash return, cap rates, internal rate of return, to ensure a deal makes sense in more than one scenario. So when done right, the numbers reveal whether a property is truly a wealth building asset or a ticking time bomb. Equally important is understanding how financing impacts return, financing the money. What should I say about that? Well, many investors, especially new investors, overlook the long-term cost of things like adjustable rate loans, or they even underestimate how short-term financing, whether it be things like hard money, um, you know, um, can underestimate, can really be can really eat into your profits and so on. So seasoned investors, we stress test the deals under multiple market conditions. What happens, for example, if interest rates go up 1%, 2%? What happens if rents fall 1%, 5%, 10%? We do these what if scenarios beforehand such that we can make sure that we stress test the situation. Okay. So these what if scenarios transform guesswork into confidence. Okay, that's number two. Keep going to number three. Number three. Okay, the hidden cost. Avoiding the financial landmines. Avoiding the financial landmines. Well, the question, I suppose, is let's have a look. What's the question? The question is, what expenses are silently waiting to destroy your deals? What expenses are silently waiting to destroy your deal? Well, hidden costs are where most investors get blindsided. Everything looks fine until the inspection, for example, or worse, until after closing. When you find out the roof leaks, the plumbing fails, the tenant I don't know, reveals that they haven't paid rent for several months, and so on. This is when it really hits you that you didn't do your due diligence properly, and so on. So the successful investors, however, we expect the unexpected. We verify. We don't always take the seller's word as gospel. We trust but verify. You know, we budget for it, we plan for it, and we treat every property as if it's hiding something. Well, a common mistake among new investors is underestimating renovation timelines, or and overestimating their contractors' reliability. One thing I found in most rehab projects is that it generally takes longer than you expected. It usually costs more than what you expected. And at some point during the renovations, you're going to have a falling out with your contractor. A 6 weeks quote unquote rehab easily stretches for 2, 3, 4 months. While the work stalls, hey, the bills don't stop. Others forget to budget things like taxes, insurance, and they're always going up, or even property management. They go up. Okay, and turnover. The cost of turnover is really, really expensive. So experienced investors have learned that the real cost of ownership extends far beyond the purchase price. The best investors are proactive. We inspect, verify, and then inspect again. We use trusted contractors, not the guy that's on the corner or the guy that's hanging outside Home Depot. We use trusted contractors. contractors who, are looking out for our interests. And, we look at these things before we submit the offer. So we meet with these contractors before to get an idea of what they think it's going to cost to renovate the house. So, we know the numbers, and we know that the easiest way to turn a deal into a disaster is to assume that everything is okay, everything is fine, and it's not at all. Okay, so kind of halfway through. And again, if you've got some questions, please put them in the chat box and I'll get to them shortly. And if you want a deeper dive into any real estate situation, challenges, or problems that you're experiencing, feel free to book a one-on-one Zoom call with me. You go to my website, www.joeasamoah.com, where you can book, and we can take it from there. Okay, moving on to number 4. And number 4 is financing pitfalls, when the money makes or breaks you. I suppose the question is your financing helping you build wealth or setting you up for failure? Is your financing helping you build wealth or setting you up for failure? Well, a deal can live on or die based on how it's financed. Many investors chase low interest rates without understanding the full loan structure. Things like, is it fixed or adjustable, hidden fees, prepayment penalties, or balloon clauses that may affect you should you want to refinance or not. Others over leverage. We take on too much debt, assuming that we're going to get a future appreciation. You can't always guarantee on that one. And also hoping that appreciation will bail them out. The truth, well, bad financing can turn a profitable property into a financial trap. It can. Financing can break you. Savvy investors think beyond closing. We structure our financing around the life cycle of the investment, whether it's a BRRRR, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat, or whether it's another exit strategy. We look at the life cycle from start to finish, and then we finance accordingly. We plan our exits from day one and ensure that the debt that we take on aligns with both the property performance and your risk tolerance. Okay. Well, when interest rates rise, we have options, hopefully, if you've planned. When market conditions shift, we reposition to pivot, not panic. Success stories abound from those who approach financing strategically. Penalties strategically. Other investors secure flexible private money loans with no prepayment penalties, allowing for faster refinance. Another investor negotiated with the lenders to extend interest-only periods, preserving cash flow during slow markets. So financing isn't just about borrowing, it's about managing risk intelligently. Okay, on to number 5. Got a couple more left. Question is emotions versus execution, the psychology of smart investing. I suppose the question is, are your feelings costing you more than your mistakes? Are your feelings costing you more than your mistakes? Emotional decision making is the silent killer of good investing. Fear, excitement, and pride cloud logic and cause investors, I suppose, to act impulsively. Some of them overpay out of fear of missing out, FOMO. Others hold on to underperforming properties because they just can't admit to themselves that they were wrong. In both cases, emotion, not math, drives decisions. The best investors, in my opinion, treat real estate like a business, not a hobby. They rely on systems, processes, and not feelings. Every purchase must meet their buy box criteria. And, we track data and we follow a very disciplined process. And we know that when to walk away and when not to walk away. Yeah, that's a tough one. As one investor or veteran investor told me, my best deals are sometimes the ones I didn't buy. Because if they had bought it, they probably would have wiped them out. Emotional control doesn't mean cold-hearted investing, however. It means consistent investing. It doesn't mean cold-hearted. It means consistent. It allows you to take better advantage of long-term financing if you can get it. And it allows you to resist pressure and protect your capital. When emotions meets discipline, then execution thrives. That's number 5. And then we go on to the final one, number 6. Number 6 is building confidence through lessons, turning knowledge into power. The question is, how do successful investors turn mistakes into momentum? We all make mistakes. Every investor I know of, including myself, we have failed at some point. But smart investors, we fail forward. We see each setback, as a tuition payment for education. We document what went wrong. We refine our systems and apply those lessons to the next deal. So we don't sort of just wallow in our self-pity. We find out what happened, do a debriefing, document everything, and then take those lessons learned to the next deal. So what separates the professionals from the amateurs isn't perfection, it's resilience and reflection. Successful investors constantly study the good, the bad, the ugly of other investors' experiences. They learn from the others' scars instead of learning from their own. They know that real estate wealth is a long-term gain built around consistency and not luck. So every rehab delays, every tenant issue, every financing challenge becomes another brick in the wall of wisdom. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from taking action and learning it quickly. So finally, over time, that repetition and reflection, it does make a difference in how we perceive you and so on. Oh, my eyes are getting a little ready. Apologize. I think I'm coming down with something, which is unusual because I don't usually get down with. I have pretty good mechanisms for that. Anyway, in conclusion, at its core, the line between success and failure in real estate, it's really isn't drawn by the market. It's drawn by the investor. You decide whether you're going to do a deal or not. Smart investors understand that great deals don't just happen by accident. We make them happen through analysis. We prepare for problems before they arise. We're proactive. And also we anticipate shifts before they hit and evaluate opportunities through the lens of discipline, data, and long-term vision. Yeah. Whether you're buying your first rental or managing a growing portfolio, remember this: deals don't fall, people do when they ignore the fundamentals. Okay, so people will don't fall, people do, however, provide appliance kits and and things like that as part of the move-in. A true investor doesn't gamble on hope. We plan for success through charity and calculated risk. Okay, real estate rewards those who do the homework and who follow the hype. The more disciplined your analysis, the larger you can get. So in closing, it's important that you understand the laws of supply and demand. And when the supply is low and the demand is high, things are good, and vice versa. Okay, I think that's about it. My eyes are killing me. Oh my goodness. Um, so let's have a look what we got here. Um, just 1 second, please. Yeah, so let me wrap up my notes and see if I can bring them up. Yeah, but anyway, so if you have any questions, please put in the chat box, and I'll definitely get to them shortly. And if you have any situations that you'd like to discuss, by all means, go on the Wealth Wednesdays, and I'll get to you shortly. So that's pretty much it, really. If you want to book a one-on-one with me, you can go to my website, joeasamoah.com, and you can book a one-on-one. And if you would like to meet with my team, then you can go online and let's see what we can do to schedule you. Email. If you want to reach email, you can reach me at joe@joeasamoah.com, joe@joeasamoah.com. So with that said and done, my friends, let's get down to the questions in the Q&A session and so on. So let's have a look. What do we have here? Live viewer comments show up on screen. Well, this is an example. Click on the comment to show it on screen. Well, greetings from Phoenix. Hey, Dow2, hope you're doing well. Thank you, Dr. Joe. My pleasure. Welcome back. Sorry to hear you have a cold. Hopefully you'll be back to 100% soon. Yeah, I got a terrible cold. Oh my God. I'm sure my voice sounds terrible and my eyes are watery. So I think I may come up with something. Welcome back, Dr. Joe. How was your vacation? Seems like you have a cold. I surely do have a cold. Great vacation. Went to Dominica in the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean. We weren't impacted by the hurricanes that was further north towards Jamaica. But the weather was great. People were fantastic. And we had a good time. Really had a good time. Do you find, this is from Nesta, do you find most people move during the winter or during the spring and summer? Calls have slowed down for my rental. That's getting cold. Yeah, generally my experience is that you get more calls during the spring and summer months and fewer calls once the weather gets colder, like now. So I think it's nothing unusual that you're getting less calls. But obviously you want to, turn this thing around so you start getting a lot more calls. Nesta. Okay, so next question. Just 1 second. Thanks for doing this. I can tell you're sick, but you took the time to put this on. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Vertus Warren. I sure did. I hope I won't regret it tomorrow. Can you provide mentorship and help me become a real estate champ? Does it matter where I'm located? This is from Billy Eno. Billy, I think you must be Ellen's brother, I think. Yeah, I mean, I do real estate, but I do primarily in the Washington, D.C. area. I mean, we can talk about, I think last time I heard you were in New York, but I don't know where you are now, Billy. But yeah, I don't personally invest locally. Sorry, I only invest locally. I don't do long distance investing, but yeah, if you reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to see how I can be of assistance to you. And Billy Ainov, yep, that's Billy. I think it's Helen's brother, if I recall. Helen is a good friend of mine. I knew in England when I was at college in Bradford, West Yorkshire, and she's in the US now, and living the dreams. Okay, let's keep going. Can you provide? I think I've just done that one. That's Billy saying yes. And Katie. Hey, Katie. Hi, Dr. Joe. Do you ever make lowball offers on properties in an effort to secure a property that works within your buy box limitations? How often are you successful with these deals? I don't make it too lowball. What I try and do is if I'm going to make a lowball offer, I try to back that up with data. Either get an appraisal or an inspection. That way, we can negotiate with the seller to a point whereby it makes sense for me. But I don't just go in there and offer $100 for on a $100,000 property. I don't want to insult the seller, and I don't want to get run out of the house by the seller. So I try to start off a little bit lower than most people, and slowly work our way up based on the situation at hand. Okay, so I think that's my cues for the session. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. I had such a busy week, and I really haven't had any rest since I came back. Maybe that's got something to do why I call it cold. But I'm on the mend. Okay. Are you still affiliated with Bigger Pockets? This is Pose. I, I haven't done a lot with Bigger Pockets for a little while now. I know they've moved on in lots of different directions. So I haven't spoken to the folks down there for a while. I did meet some of them at the conference, Own It, Live It. But that was some from a different perspective. So I met with a few of them, several of them, and just networking, see if we can do business. Really not too sure the status of Bigger Pockets. I know that they're going through several iterations. I really don't even watch them very often. I listen to podcasts where really good one. Um, but anyway, if you want that information, let me know. I'm more than happy to share it with you. Okay, next one. Thank you for sharing with us this evening, even while you are under the weather. Yeah, well, hopefully I don't sound too bad. Let me know if I sound terrible or not, but I thought I would try to step up to the plate today. Okay, so I'm going to go to Instagram and see what's out there. Akia. Oh, hey, Kia. Dr. Joe, why do some investors refinance in a DSCR when they can refinance into a conventional loan for LLCs with 30-year plus? DSCRs generally are mainly for commercial deals. And I haven't seen too many DSCR on residentials or owned by LLCs in that. So it's financing. That's for those people who don't know, DSCR is debt service coverage ratio. There are quite a few loan products out now where you provide them with the asset information, and they will determine whether you qualify for the deal or not. There's no W-2s required, no tax returns required. It's a very streamlined process. The one I've used is, I think, Matt. He's out in California somewhere. I think I've done about 3 or 4 deals with him already. Okay, so keeping right along. I think that's all my social media requests. But again, I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes. And hopefully you had a great week. Hopefully that all your plans came into fruition. The Real Estate Investor Agent podcast, and also the Real Estate Social. These are websites suggested by clients of mine, and as it pertains to guests from the Caribbean. Anyway, I think that's about it. I finished a little early today, 7:40. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. Shoot me an email or book a one-on-one with me, and I'll try my best to get to you. I'm gonna go to bed now. I am terrible. So until next Wednesday, I don't think I'm going to be there next Wednesday. I'm going to another event. So I apologize. I will not be here next Wednesday. That's said and done, my friends. Good night. Have a great evening. Take care.